I always thought honesty was the foundation of every relationship. Maybe that's why what happened that night didn't just hurt me. It rewired everything I believed about my wife, Hannah, and the marriage I guarded like something delicate. It all began with something as harmless as her saying she was heading out for a girls' night. She mentioned it casually, tossing her phone on the couch and slipping on her sweater. I remember smiling, telling her to enjoy herself, even teasing her not to stay out too late. She laughed, kissed my cheek, and said, "Relax, Adam. It's just us girls." Those words replayed later like an echo I couldn't shake. She came home around 1 a.m., a little too lively, cheeks flushed, hair slightly mussed. Not the kind of messy you get from dancing with friends. Something else. She smelled different too. Not wrong, just not her. Not her perfume. Someone else's. I didn't confront her. I didn't want to be that husband, the paranoid one. But something in my chest tightened as I watched her fall asleep faster and deeper than usual. The next morning changed everything. She was making coffee when she looked at me with a kind of soft, guilty expression, like someone trying to work up the courage to confess, but not sure how to begin. I didn't ask. I just waited. Finally, she said, "Adam, something happened last night." My stomach didn't drop. It just paused, like it was waiting for a verdict. She held her mug with both hands, fingers trembling slightly. "The girls kept pushing me," she said quietly. "They told me to loosen up, to have fun." She swallowed. "I ended up talking to a guy at the bar. He flirted. I flirted back just a little. It was stupid." My jaw tightened, but I stayed silent. I needed her to finish without my anger giving her an excuse to hide the truth. "He bought me a drink," she continued. "I shouldn't have accepted it. Nothing physical happened. But I liked the attention and that scares me." She stared at me, bracing herself for yelling, for accusations, anything but silence. And somehow, my silence scared her more. Her confession sat between us like smoke, visible, stinging, lingering. I kept looking at her, not out of anger but trying to understand why. Why the woman who once cried because I surprised her with flowers now felt exhilarated by a stranger buying her a drink. Why she was confessing first thing in the morning, completely unprompted. Why guilt clung to her posture like a weight. She broke before I did. "Adam, say something, please." Her voice shook, not from fear of judgment, but fear of losing something she still cared about. I inhaled slowly. "Why are you telling me this now?" Her eyes shined. "Because I didn't sleep. I kept thinking about it. I don't know what's happening to me. I feel lost, and I don't want this to turn into something worse." Something twisted inside me. Part of me appreciated the honesty. Another part questioned what she wasn't saying. Honesty usually comes edited. I leaned against the counter. "Did you like him?" She flinched, a small, involuntary reaction. "No," she said. "I liked the attention. It felt new, different, unexpected." Her knuckles whitened around the mug. She couldn't look at me anymore. "And that's the problem," she whispered. "I shouldn't want attention from anyone else. I'm your wife." Her voice cracked on that last word. I watched her fold in on herself, waiting for my reaction like it could determine her entire future. And suddenly, something clicked, sharp and unwelcome. She wasn't confessing because she trusted me. She was confessing because part of her had already crossed a line, and she wanted to see how much she could admit without blowing everything up. "Hannah," I said quietly, "is there something else you're not telling me?" Her breath hitched, too fast, too panicked.
"No, Adam."
"It was just flirting. Just talking. Nothing more, I swear." But her eyes that once couldn't lie to save their life, kept darting away. That told me far more than her words. I let the silence stretch until she shifted in her seat, until the weight of her own confession settled on her. She rubbed her palms on her leggings over and over, a nervous habit she hadn't shown in years. Finally, I spoke. "I'm not angry that someone flirted with you. I'm not even angry that you liked the attention. I'm angry because you weren't planning to tell me." Her mouth opened, but no words came. "You told me because you're scared," I said quietly, Not because you respect me. Her face fell. That's not true. I do respect you. Do you? I asked softly. Then why was your first instinct to hide it? Why did it take an entire night for your guilt to overpower the secret? Her breathing stuttered. Adam, please. No, I said, firmer than I expected. Let me finish. She froze. I stepped closer, stopping just short, making sure the message landed emotionally rather than physically. You said it felt new and exciting, I said. But do you know what scares me? I paused. It means something in our marriage has been feeling old, dull, invisible to you. Her eyes filled instantly. A tear slid down her cheek, quiet and devastating. I didn't mean it like that, she whispered. I've been overwhelmed. Work, stress, everything. I didn't realize I needed something I wasn't asking you for. And instead of coming to me, I said, you opened a door for someone else to walk through. That broke her. She leaned on the counter and cried into her hands, not defensive crying, but the kind born from real regret and late realizations. I didn't touch her. I waited. Not because I didn't care, but because something in me had shifted, something I couldn't force back into place. When she finally lifted her face, her eyes were red, trembling, desperate. What do we do now? She asked, barely above a whisper. This was the moment she never saw coming. I drew in a slow breath. We stop pretending, I said softly. And we start telling the truth, brutal truth, even if it hurts. Starting now. She blinked, startled. What do you mean? I looked right into her eyes. My turn, I said quietly. It's time you hear how I really feel. And her entire world shifted.